Yo, what's up guys, it's Nexxus here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get your stats boosted up in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer by being able to win more gunfights. Now, winning gunfights is pretty much the say-all be-all in Call of Duty. I mean, if you don't have a high kill-death ratio, most people think that you're not very good. And in PlayStation, since I have experience with the game on Xbox, and I just transitioned over to PlayStation for the new DLC, I'm able to maintain a 2.0 on this game because of all the skill and knowledge that I've learned from Black Ops 3 on the Xbox One. And since this movement system is going to be the same in Infinite Warfare pretty much, we're going to need to know how to use this movement system to our advantage in every way possible. So the first thing we need to know how to do is slide, and everyone knows how to slide, but what I'm talking about is how to use this slide to your advantage. Now you need to be able to slide into the enemy, slide into doorways, slide into and out of areas that you need to be in or need to get out of. So what you want to do is, if you have a shotgun, let's say you have an enemy at about 10 meters away, you're going to want to slide into them with that shotgun instead of aiming down sights, because if you're like aiming down sights and you boost towards them, that's easy for them to pick you off. If you're sliding, they have to go with your momentum and follow you with their iron sights or with their gun, and they have to be able to pick you off that way rather than you being a stagnant object moving up into the air. So another way they use the slide is you have to go into doorways. Say you're getting shot from behind or the side, you need to have that perfect accuracy and that perfect line of sight with your slide to get into a doorway from where you are. So this can be implemented in many ways, like maybe you're sliding into a hard point and you're trying to pick off people quickly, and maybe you don't want them to be able to trace you down with their weapon, so you're going to slide into the doorway and then spin to where you think the enemy is, or just look towards where you think the enemy is, and that's how you're going to be able to pick off enemies easily when they're inside a hard point or inside an area that you think they'll be in. Or if you're trying to dodge an enemy that's shooting at you from the side and you slide straight into a doorway to where they can no longer have a line of sight on you, that's also a good way to use this slide to your advantage. So two of the other movements that you need to master is the wall run and the boost. Now you use these kind of hand in hand because you boost onto wall runs and off of wall runs, and you kind of use wall runs for deception and mobility, and you use boost for the same thing as well as dodging enemies. So to get away from an enemy, you might boost onto a wall run and then escape, or you might use the boost to get up in the air to where the enemy has to look up and take time to look up and shoot you, while you have the advantage by looking down and shooting at them because you have the high ground and because it's going to take them time to adjust to the situation. Now, other than boosting up, you can also do the opposite and drop shot like we used to in the classic Call of Duties. Since we didn't have boost technology, we just drop shotted down, or we'd do a little hop. So the drop shot is actually one of the most effective ways of getting away from enemies back in the day, but now it's the boost, so the boost is more effective, but you can also use this drop shot to kind of deceive enemies in a close quarter situation, because you can't really boost if you're in a little building or a little room. So movement system is very important in this game, but another thing that's important is map knowledge and spawn knowledge. So you need to be knowing where the enemies are coming from at all times. So let's say you have the A flag and the B flag, you have to know that they're coming from the C flag, and they have about 2 to 3 spawn points whenever they're at a C flag or an A flag, and if they're at the B flag, you have to know those spawn points so you can kind of trap them and collapse from the A and the C flag. And map knowledge is also important because you need to know where the enemies are coming from. Like with a UAV, you can see where they're coming from, and you need to know to pre-fire a corner and to always be looking at your minimap. Now, not looking at it constantly like staring it down, but be glancing at it every couple of seconds, like maybe 2 to 3 seconds, glance up, stop, look what you're doing, glance up a little bit to see where the enemies are coming from, because that's the only way you're going to be able to know where the gunfire is coming from unless you have like awareness on or a good headset. So that's a very good and very important thing to have, is map knowledge and spawn knowledge. So those are the 5 biggest parts of Call of Duty multiplayer that you need to have mastered if you're going to be successful and have at least a 2.0 in this game. So if you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful or informative, please do leave that like. Comment down below what you guys would like to see in my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. But it's coming back better in Black Ops 3, honestly, because even with the new movement system, it kind of still plays like it did in Black Ops 2, so you're still